Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You hear me? Okay. And thank you. I love Mendelssohn. So that was great. So good morning. I'm Jeff Clark. I serve as co-president of the board for the Unitarian Universalist Society of Amherst, and I use he, him pronouns. So welcome to you, old friends, new, young, old, in the Zoom, in the sanctuary. You're a central part of our celebration today. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, we're stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We're all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. And we also welcome you to participate in the governance of our society. You can come talk to us during social hour, because you can tell us with our tags and to the board. And we always open the first 15 minutes of every board meeting. We have one on February 22nd, which is on Zoom, so you're welcome to join. And you can also send us your thoughts at board@uusocietyamherst.org. We're grateful to be in community with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm Polly Peterson, a member of the UUSA, and I use she, her pronouns. To lower this a little, because Jeff is tall. No. Today we're engaging our imaginations as we think about equity. Kids are starting downstairs today with JC. Our call to worship today will be words from the Reverend Juliana Micah Soto. They are the author of Spilling the Light and the executive director of Trust, Transgender Religious Professional Unitarian Universalists Together. The thing about the future is that it is happening right now, and now, and now. And who we are can give a glimpse of who we will become. And should you have concerns or ways that you would rather be, the good news is this. In the glowing palm of the malleable present burns an invitation to your favorite self. Do not miss the moment, distracted and supposing that it is not for you, for us. Because the access for everything we dream about, all those pristine, healing tomorrows, is built through your every right action today.
I'm the Reverend Rachael Hayes. I use she, her pronouns. I invite you to join with me in the words to light the chalice, which are on the screen. We light this flame to invite a world of peace, where we heal the wounds, where we share what we have with one another, where justice is another word for relationship, and we listen for what love has to say. Please rise in body, in spirit, in all the many ways that we do to sing hymn number 155, Circle Round for Freedom. Invite you into a time of sacred imagination. We begin with a grounding practice that you may have encountered before, either here or somewhere else. It is alternate side tapping, or also known as a butterfly hug. You're welcome to make this practice work for you If that means staying only with your breath or using one hand instead of two, whatever you need. First, get about 10% more comfortable in your seat, whatever that means for you. Notice your breath moving in and out of your body, in and out at your natural pace. When you're ready, you can begin butterfly tapping. You can join your thumbs like this. Put your hands over your chest and tap one side and then the other. Or it might be more comfortable for you to cross your arms over your chest, to tap your hands on your shoulders. You can tap as firmly or gently as feels right to you. Or it might be more comfortable for you to tap your hands on your lap, one side and then the other, like this. And you're still breathing. When you're ready, come back to stillness. You can find your way back into tapping whenever it feels right to you. Now that we are grounded in the present, we're going to turn to the future. We're going to time travel to a time when all people are free. I learned this practice from author and movement educator Adrienne Marie Brown. Now, the freedom of a particular group might be calling to you. If you long for a time when queer people are free, or Black people, or transgender people, or disabled people, or Indigenous people, or poor people, or women, I invite you to imagine that freedom specifically. And if you don't do imagination in a sensory in your head kind of way, imagine in a way that works for you. You can doodle or draw or take notes or have a conversation in your head. This is your imagination time. I invite you to imagine. You time travel to some point in the future where everyone is free. You find yourself in a community. What do you notice? Who is there with you? How do they greet you? What do you hear in the background? As you look around, what do you see? Someone in the community invites you into their home, gives you something to eat, gives you something to drink. Is anyone else there? What do you notice about their home? You have the opportunity to ask them a question. What do you ask? What is their response? You're going to return to 2024 soon. What do you notice before you leave? What do the people say when you tell them goodbye? Take a breath here in 2024. Feel the chair underneath you. Hear our normal, small Sunday noises. Come back as the music plays. don't know if any of you have messages from the future for us, but if there's anything you want to share from that meditation, I'd like to turn the mic over to you. I've found this exercise to be really enlightening sometimes, so I'm making space for that, if any of you have messages from the future.
Hi, everyone. It's nothing super earth-shattering. In the second prompt you gave, I was in the home of a woman, not anyone I know, just somebody with a really earthly presence, and I asked her, how did you get here? Like, how did you establish this? It feels really good. And she said, by trusting myself every step of the way.
That's a good message from the future. Thank you, Sarah.
Apparently, they have really great salads in the future.
Love it.
With like pomegranates and all kinds of good things in it.
Nice.
What I heard from the future is that times have always been hard and you need to have courage.
Times have always been hard and you need to have courage. Let's see. None of us have ever known a world where everyone could thrive. I think that's why we keep coming back to that question, what exactly do we mean when we say beloved community? If beloved community is a world where everyone can flourish and thrive, we haven't been there yet, but we still believe in it. The proposed revision of Article 2 of the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association, not our congregation's bylaws, but the big denominational bylaws, locates these things in the value of equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Equity, not equality. The call is to make sure everyone let me do that again. The call is not to make sure everyone has equal resources or support, whether they need them or not, which would be equality. Equity is providing everyone with the specific resources and support to reach an equitable outcome. There's something hard, scary, and overpowering about equity. To support people in ways that actually help, we have to know what they actually need. Generic love might not get the job done. We have to love people specifically, to dare to know them and be in relationship with them, to listen to what they have to say for themselves, and perhaps even scarier, to advocate for ourselves in that same way. I don't know if you experienced the other side of that in our time travel. What it was like when everyone had the chance to thrive. Full access for people with disabilities. A world without poverty, a world without prisons, dazzling diversity of family structures, truly knowing our history and not repeating the injustices of the past, everyone having enough food, ceasefire, peace, collective ownership, intentional stewardship of the land, community safety, medical care without barriers. While we imagined our time travel, to when everyone could thrive, it feels important to name during Black History Month that this is an Afrofuturist exercise. Black history does not have the good old days narrative that the mainstream American narrative, which is to say the white narrative, promotes. Positive history in Black history frequently takes the form of triumph over adversity, over racist systems or individuals, to do something truly exceptional. Afrofuturism as a creative movement looks forward to a future in which Black people are free, have full agency and self-determination. I learned our time travel exercise from Adrienne Marie Brown, a multiracial Black and white American author and movement educator. I first encountered it as time travel to a time when queer people are free, but the exercise itself is steeped in Afrofuturist world building, in both the creative arts sense and the movement for real world change sense. Black people have relied upon the power of imagining a better world for centuries. I would say that it is a crucial ingredient to Black survival in our country, but I think it's more accurate to say that our country could not have survived to this moment without the power of Black imagination. What if every person really has the right to flourish? We have never experienced this, and yet we still hold it as a Unitarian Universalist value. Sometimes I worry that here we are in this hard world, suffering, watching our neighbors suffer, watching people around the world suffer on the news, and we'll give up on the goal of everyone flourishing. It might seem impossible, but we have to act as though it is achievable. One place where this contrast between despair and action shines through is in contemporary climate activism. Our planet's climate is in crisis. Climate crisis is leading to famine and political instability and war. While in Massachusetts, we experienced catastrophic flooding last summer and now an unprecedented snowless warm winter. Other historically exploited lands have become uninhabitable due to drought or heat or both. People are leaving their homelands where they can no longer grow food or endure climate change, and they have to go somewhere. Equity in the changing climate crisis looks like everyone having enough food and a safe place to live. Equity also demands that we not lose sight of slowing down climate change so that we don't render more places uninhabitable. We can't give up. We have to act as though it is possible. I don't ask us to imagine that free world as a fantasy. Experiencing a little taste of it can give us the energy to work for it. I also don't know the steps between where we are now and the goal of everyone thriving. I do not have this triptych. This is why we need to not lose sight of the goal. We need to keep calibrating our moves based on where we want to go, not just habit or comfort. Taking energy from the future to power our way home to it is a kind of time travel. Some people might call it hope. Not a sit back and see if it works out hope. the hope of putting your whole self into creating a future different from our present. When faced with inequity, it's too easy to despair. We have to reconnect to the joy of our goal, to feel this future that may or may not come in our lifetimes, and work to make it so. Joy is a powerful motivator. In our capitalist system, someone will find a way to sell you temporary happiness, but joy is renewable. As the hymn we sang 2 weeks ago says, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. We need to reconnect to the joy, to that vision of a future where everyone can flourish, to sustain us as we build it together. Please join me in prayer. Spirit of life and connection, we are people who have tasted the future. We are people who have found the future in our bodies and brought them back to this moment in 2024. Help us to find the way home to the future. Guide us in our next steps. Help us keep connected to this goal. And may we always find the joy as a beacon to lead us home. For all of us, for the whole world, let us pray. Amen. I invite you to rise in body and in spirit and sing hymn number 143, Not in Vain, the Distance Beacons, with as much joy as you can access.
I'm forgetting about the mic here. For our time of prayer and meditation, we have further words from Julian Jamaica Soto. You might recall that she was talking about accessing those healing tomorrows. I know you are tired, and sometimes your ability to suspend disbelief is taxed, like unto snapping. But there is more. Rest and lean into the strength that you are. That the moment is into the power of keeping your promises, of staying the course, and of using your power to create and to care for the world just beyond this one, the one whose heartbeat pumps in syncopated time with yours. Come quick, come now, there is still time. Please remain seated as we sing our meditation hymn, There Is More Love. As we do each week, we will extinguish the chalice with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We're about to sing our closing song. You are welcome to stay right where you are and be held in the love of our congregation, or you are welcome to form a circle around the outer aisles as we sing. I send you forth with these words from Audre Lorde, and I dream of us coming together, encircled, driven not only by love, but by a lust for a working tomorrow. The flights of this journey, mapless, uncertain, and necessary as water. Go in peace.